Hello, MILFs and witches and whatever you want to call yourself. You all are hot. Okay, let's be serious now. My name is Adam, and a year ago I was on this channel with different hosts, and then something came in the way, people got busy, and now it's starting up again. So I'm really excited to be working with the people now. Um, and it's a new beginning, and I kind of missed PepperMintJuju throughout the year when we were doing it. So it's kind of a new beginning, and I'm starting to get to know the people on it. I know most of the people, maybe not too personal. I know some people are really good, some people I don't know that well at all, but I've watched some of them, such as, Michelle, Awaken the Flames. I watched her videos when I first started and stuff like that, and never would I thought of that I would be doing a collaboration channel with her. Um, and so I'm glad to get to know everyone. Um, I'm glad to get to know Lindsay, um, the Chat Noir. Sorry, I'm not really good at pronouncing things, and I'm really excited to get to know everyone. Marianne Moore, or Akashic Inspirations. I adore her. And Glammy, I know Glammy. She was actually the first one that I met throughout everyone. But Glammy will be like a guest host. And then Chris and, Invoking the Balance and Jerama Witchy. I've been talking to them for a long time. I know Jerama for a year now. And um, Invoking the Balance, I've talked to you for actually quite a bit now too. So I'm getting to know everyone, and it's going to be fun. So I'm going to talk to you about my path. And if I were to say what my path is, if I were to say it to a person in the pagan community, I would call it a form of hedge witchery or eclectic paganism. If I were to say it to someone outside of the pagan community, I would say, oh, I'm spiritual, I'm very spiritual, or I'll say I'm pagan, or if they don't know if they say what's a pagan, I say, well, there are different forms of paganism, and it's just I see it as an umbrella term, so whatever. But a hedge witch to me, or my practice to me, is very, I think, unique, and other people probably practice the way, obviously other people practice this as well, the way I do, as people may not. Hedge witchery is very an eclectic path, and I'm going to talk about what it is to me, and there is no right or wrong definition of it, because they're all eclectic, but there's one thing that you can all agree on, which is hedge riding, which is, the hedge is kind of like the veil, so the back then in Europe, there would be the hedge, and there would be the cunning women of the town, what some cultures would call the shaman, or whatever. I go like this because shaman is a different word that was it's a like it's a Siberian word that people um, around North Asia. Okay, so they use that word. So not every culture uses the word shaman. So we just adapted that in modern world, and I think it's kind of rude to personally for me if I were to call myself a shaman, because that's something the community calls you. That's something you don't call yourself. So I wouldn't do that. But and me, when I journey, I either do it in the form of a dream. So I'll ask my guides, can I have a dream? I might be off in another world. I've actually only had one dream. Actually, no, I've had a couple dream journeys. One when I used to smoke mugwort. Yeah, I was a little, yeah. Where I used to have tea and smoke mugwort. I used to have dreams about going, riding on a dragon's back, and it took me to an eagle, and I was like, okay, that's cool. And then I had one of an angel talking to me in a cemetery, and now when I do that with mugwort, I don't have dreams like that anymore. I think I kind of abused its power, but which is not good. But I'm a very I do a form of what I call meditative journeying or traveling, which is where I'll listen to the beat of a drum, or I'll write something out, what some people would call guided meditation or whatever, and I would then, after and I'm listening, and the beat of the drum is the shaman's, what some people call the shaman's horse, or that's what it's been known to be called from some culture, some people. So basically, I would go and I actually have a CD of it. I don't own my own drum yet, but I would have a CD of it. I'd go into an altered state of consciousness. Sometimes I use binaural beats as well, which is brainwave. They're beats and they alter your brainwaves into an altered state of consciousness. And once I'm in this altered state of consciousness, I will then travel the world tree. So I will visualize a world tree, and then it is very real because the visualizations become crisp and clear. So I may go up to the upper world to talk to a deity, or an ascended master, or a saint, or an angelic realm, or what I call the light people, light beings. Or I may go down to the underworld and talk to the spirits of, like the animal guides, such as Mother Spider. Or I may go down to the underworld to maybe talk to a crystal being. And I also believe in the middle world that there are spirits, the spirits of the rocks, the trees, the plants. There is everything has a spirit. So there is the spirit of your forest, and there are the spirits that dwell in the forest, such as the elementals, the fairies, the gnomes, everything. Well, actually, to me that's an elemental, but they all dwell within that area. So to me, I think everything has a spirit. Sorry, people just came home, so it's weird. I believe also that, yes, your divination tools have a spirit, such as I have a crystal ball, or if you use a crystal for scrying. I'm very big into scrying, so I'm a very strong believer in animism, and stuff like that. I also like to do scrying a lot. I haven't done it in a while, but I mean, on the summer solstice I did scrying. But speaking of summer solstice, I like to practice, celebrate the seasonal changes, so the 4 major Sabbats, and then the 5th one, Samhain, because I am very into ancestor worship, and so, because they were here before me, and if I wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here in this body in this lifetime, so, yeah, so, basically, I like to do the 4 seasonal changes. To me, that's when the seasons actually change, and I see it kind of like a story throughout the whole year between Mother Earth and the sun, and it's kind of a way to honor Mother Earth and the sun, because she gives us food, and the sun gives us the rays of the food. Gives us rays to help the food grow and stuff like that. So I kind of see the winter solstice as a time when the Father Sun has kind of, or the keepers of the sun. Well, when I say the keepers, they are the spirits that kind of maintain and watch over each thing, if that makes sense. So, like, I believe there is, when I say Father, Son, I'm talking about, I believe there are many deities and spirits that dwell over the sun. So when I say the Father, Son, I'm just saying as a collective. So, I believe that, and also the sun has a spirit itself. But, besides that, it is a time, for instance, when he is born. Not literally, born, but like when the days, okay, I gotta think about this one, because they usually get mixed up. When the days are becoming, well, they'll start becoming longer, because, yeah. So then you have the spring equinox, is kind of when I see it kind of like, he's like slowly starting to mature, and Mother Earth is kind of, things are starting to bloom, and Mother Earth is starting to waken up from her slumber kind of thing. And then the summer solstice is when him and Mother Earth are at their biggest peak, and they are kind of, everything is at its biggest peak. Like the nature spirits are out, Mother Earth is out, the animals are out. Then the fall is when, he kind of dies, metaphorically speaking. Not dies yet, but things are starting to wind down, and he's starting to die, and Mother Earth is getting really old, and stuff like that. And then to me, Samhain is a time to honor the dead, when he has, now the nights will be coming longer, and the days will be coming shorter. So he will then, be showing up a lot, so then he's dead, metaphorically speaking, and Mother Earth is kind of in her slumber again. So that is a time, and then from that to all the way before winter solstice, it is a time again when it happens all over again, and I see it as reincarnation. I also celebrate the seasonal changes because to me they're like reincarnation. Samhain is Yule is when you were born. out of your mother. Okay, spring is kind of like when you're like that toddler going into toddler child going into teenager type thing. Summer is when you're maturing, you're living your life, blah 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 blah, and then you have fall is when you're starting to become a little bit old, middle aged, getting a little old type thing, and then I kind of see Samhain is when you leave, like you're kind of dying and you're leaving your physical body, and then again you go into the spirit world, and then you wait until you are reborn, and then the cycle happens again. So that's why the Wheel of the Year is also another time for me to thank Mother Earth and my guides, but also a time for to reflect on that reincarnation is possible. It is a symbol, because I see life as a circle. It never ends. In a circle, in a hoop that never ends. Sorry. So, speaking of death, I believe many things about death. I believe in reincarnation, but I believe that when we die, our vessel returns back to Mother Earth, and when that happens, our spirit, our soul, our consciousness, our energy, whatever you want to call it, detaches from the body and goes to a place that I call the light. Some people call it heaven. Some people call it Summerlands. I call it the light. To me, it is a place where you go, and when you're there, you meet up with your deities, your guides, whoever, your ancestors, your loved ones, and you learn lessons, and maybe you might become a spirit guide, whatever, and then when you're done, you come back. And this is taking forever now, and I know I said in the group that it should be 5 minutes long, so now I'm going to have to start wrapping it up. But I'm going to start talking about when it comes to magic. Sometimes I like to do candle magic, sometimes I like to wear jewelry and do a ritual to like put my energy into it. Sometimes I do rituals, sometimes I don't. Sometimes, I like to, one time I was sick and I made a sandwich and I just invoked healing energies and I ate it and I was better. So just stuff like that, everyday life things. And mainly it's also always candle magic. I do candle magic with tea lights, with 7-day candles. I have a thing called a working candle. That's how I make my sacred space in a way. I just carve my guides' names in here. I light the candle, picture a circle around me, and there you go. One more thing I want to talk about is my guides, and I don't know if they care sharing with you. There's a lot. But I kind of see it like this, is I work with an Egyptian goddess Bast. She was actually my very first guide that came out to me. I have many experiences with her. I work with Ganesh. He's kind of like my spiritual father. Ganesh. I see Mother Earth as my mother, kind of like a guide. I see the spirits of my neighborhood or the property as my guides, such as the spirits that are in the creek. They offer healing, protection, and guidance. I believe there is a guardian spirit that dwells within my room, or I think every house has a guardian spirit. So I have a gargoyle statue for that. I believe in ancestors. They are my spirit guides as well, I believe. And I also have a little fairy guide. She came to me in a journey, and ever since I felt her, and every time I pray to her, she answers me, so I know she is very real to me. So she is amazing, and she's always changing her form for people. Sometimes she'll be this, she'll do this. The Fae are she's very nice, and she helps a lot. So she's kind of like a guardian angel. And then my last guides would be, I've just started working with Archangel Michael, and Saint Christopher. I've always had a fascination with Saint Christopher. I'm paranoid about traveling, so he is like my patron guide for when I travel, maybe even to the grocery store. But when I travel to different places, he is there. Okay, this is too long now. I know it's too long, so I gotta stop. Talking. I'm gonna get shit. I don't know if I'll get shit for this, but I'll be like, damn. Okay, so I hope you guys, even though I'm kind of a hypocrite right now because I said 5 minutes long, where I'm getting into 15. I'm gonna stop. So I thank you all for everything. I'm glad to get to know everyone. And my personal channel is A-Bomb Productions 1. You can go check it out. I'm not very I'm actually somewhat active on it, depending, but it's not actually me. And Blessed be.